A beautiful space with poorly hanged drapes or curtains ruins the whole look and cheapens everything else. Learning the do's and don'ts of hanging curtains is very important in achieving a stunning composition. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Ali and I'm an interior designer who's always giving the best tips on how to make your space look stunning. I also do DIYs and give you guys affordable ideas on how to make your own home decor pieces. I also paint, so do feel free to hit that subscribe button below and join the family. I upload videos every single week. Anyway guys, let's dive straight into today's video where I'll be talking about the do's and don'ts of hanging curtains. Now, curtains may seem like that part of the space that you might not really put a lot of attention into, but you won't realize that not hanging curtains properly can completely ruin the look of a room. So today I want to delve into this so that you may learn what to do when you're hanging your curtains and what to avoid when you're hanging your curtains. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. First mistake when it comes to hanging curtains is hanging curtains too low or at the wrong height. Now this is a mistake that is actually quite common. I think a lot of us have probably made this mistake at one point or the other without actually knowing. You want to avoid hanging curtains too low. This not only looks good, but it actually draws the eyes upwards, making the room feel larger and even more airy. Now, if you've been watching a lot of my videos, I have touched on this so many times because it is a mistake that a lot of us make without even knowing. Totally avoid hanging your curtains right above the window, as this visually shortens the height of the window and the room as a whole. Go ahead and go for a floor-to-ceiling curtain to achieve a grand look. Now, another don't that you want to avoid when hanging your curtains is having a rod that is not wide enough. Now, a lot of us probably believe that a curtain rod needs to be pretty much the same exact length as the window, but actually that is not the case. When the curtain rod is exactly the same length as your window, it means when you open your curtains, there's actually a lot of it hanging in front of the window. This partially covers the window, blocking light from coming into the space and making the window seem smaller. What you actually want to do is go for a curtain rod that extends at least 6 to 10 inches on either side of the window. At this point, when you open up your curtains, the curtains will actually be laying on either sides of the wall, making your window seem larger and bringing in a lot more natural lighting. So try to avoid narrow roads and try to go for something that is a little bit wider than your window. Now, another mistake that I have talked about severally and that you totally want to avoid is hanging short curtains. Now, short curtains do not look good, guys. They just don't. So you totally want to go for longer curtains that go all the way to the floor. This totally makes a room look a lot more aesthetic and even larger. Now, there are a couple of ways of hanging longer curtains. We have the kiss, we have the float, and we have the paddle. The kiss is where you have your long curtains going all the way up to the floor, slightly touching the floor. It looks really good and quite professional. And to achieve this, you actually have to take measurements from the point where you will be hanging your curtains all the way to the floor and try to be as exact as possible. When it comes to the float, it's pretty much the same as the kiss. The only difference is the curtain won't exactly be touching the floor. There'll be a very tiny space between the curtain and the floor, making it look like it's floating a little bit above the floor. This is also a really great option as it also looks super professional. Now, another option when it comes to hanging long curtains is going for the paddle. Now, the paddle is as simple as letting the curtains paddle over the floor a little bit. That means just letting it touch the floor a little bit and create some form of gathering right there. Now you do not want to overdo this. That is another mistake you totally want to avoid. Yes, you are allowed to let it paddle a little bit, but also do not overdo it, as this will ruin the look. Now this look may be best when trying to create maybe a romantic vibe. It may probably work best in a bedroom and so on. As you can see for yourselves, all these options are all about hanging longer curtains. So yes guys, totally avoid hanging short curtains, as they will never make a space look aesthetic. Now another tip when it comes to hanging curtains is to create fullness. Now you want to avoid wimpy fabric that will feel thin and cheap on a big window. Get drapery that is heavy and thick to make the room feel more luxurious. Now guys, when you're going out there to buy your curtains, what I mean by try to create fullness is avoid buying curtains that is the same exact width of your window. Try to go for something that's a little bit longer so that when you close it or when you open it, you're creating pleats, ruffles and waves to make it feel fuller. Having these gatherings on your curtains actually gives a more opulent look. To create some beautiful pleats and fullness, try going for a curtain width that is twice the length of the truck. Another simple mistake you want to avoid when you're hanging your curtains is going for a weak rod or a sagging wire. Now you want to make sure the rod that you use for your curtains is sturdy enough to support the weight of your curtains. When you use a weak rod or when you use those wires we sometimes use to hang our curtains and it's not strong enough to hold the curtain, resulting in a sagging in the middle, this does not look good at all. Totally avoid this. Make sure your curtains are hanging completely straight without any sags. Now another simple tip right before hanging your curtains up is to go ahead and iron them. Now remember, curtains are not furnishings that can be changed day in, day out. These are things that once you put up may stay there for quite a long time. So do not skip ironing these pieces so as to make them look as neat as possible. Wrinkled curtains look really sloppy and sometimes do not even hang straight. Once you've already invested your time and money in some beautiful window treatments, the last simple tip is to give them an iron and make sure they look their best. Now those are some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to hanging your curtains appropriately. I truly hope you guys got to learn something, and if you have any other tips, do leave it in the comment section below. I would also love to learn from you. Anyway guys, I hope you got to learn something and will know exactly how to go about hanging curtains. All in all, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe and share. I'll be truly grateful. Anyway guys, see you next week inshallah with another video. Love you guys so much. Bye bye.